Had Aisha realized what marriage entails, she dashed. We have option A. Could have not rushed in could have not rushed into it. B. Would have rushes into it. C. Would not have rushes into it. D. Would not have rushed into it. Hi everybody, you're welcome to my channel. This is the tutorials. In today's class, we are going to learn how to use would in a sentence. How to use would in a sentence. This video was demanded by one of my viewers. He requested I do a video on auxiliary verbs. So today we are going to learn how to use would in a sentence. Why I chose to start with would is because I see a lot of questions on it in the past questions, JAMB past questions, okay? So at the end of the lesson, we're going to be asking some questions from the past questions, JAMB past questions, okay? We'll be picking some questions on would, on the use of would from this book, okay? Now, the first use of would is to talk about imaginary situations, unreal situations, things that did not happen, but we want to talk about them, okay, in the present and in the past. So use would to talk about an unreal situation in the present and also in the past. And you see it in conditional sentences, that is, sentences that start with if sentences, okay? Now, in if sentences, you see it in the consequence clause. You know that an if sentence has two parts. So one of the parts is the part that contains if. The second part is the part that talks about the consequence, okay? The consequence of the if clause. So if sentence is divided into two, the if clause and the consequence clause, okay? And you see would, you use would in the consequence clause. For example, if I were a doctor, I would work in the hospital. If I were a doctor, I would work in a hospital, okay? Now, the if clause is if I were a doctor. Now, the consequence clause is I would work in a hospital. I would work in a hospital. Now, this sentence talks about something that did not happen, an unreal situation, okay? I am not a doctor, I don't work in a hospital, but I only talked about the possibility of it happening. If I were a doctor, I would work in a hospital. It would be wrong for me to say, if I were a doctor, I will work in a hospital. It talks about an unreal situation, so you use would and not will. Like I said, would is also used in talking about unreal situations in the past, imaginary situations in the past, okay? Things that did not happen in the past, something that could have happened in the past but did not happen. So you use would in making such expressions. If he had studied well for the exams, he would have passed, okay? Now this sentence talks about something that did not happen in the past, okay? He did not study, okay? He did not study. Studying is something that did not happen in the past, so is an unreal situation in the past. And when you have a sentence like this, a sentence that talks about something that did not happen in the past, you use in the if clause, you use had plus the past participle of the verb. Had plus the past participle of the verb. And in the consequence clause, you use would plus have. You use would plus have. Would plus have. That is when you want to talk about something that did not happen in the past. Something that did not happen in the past, okay? If he had eaten in the morning, he wouldn't have been hungry, okay? If he had eaten in the morning, he wouldn't have been hungry. This sentence talks about something that did not happen in the past. In the morning, he did not eat. Now, in the consequence clause, you're going to use would plus have, okay? In this sentence, I used wouldn't because the sentence is negative. If he had eaten in the morning, he wouldn't have been hungry. If he had eaten in the morning, had plus the past participle of the main verb, and in the consequence clause we have wouldn't plus have, okay? If he had not eaten in the morning, he would have been hungry, okay? If he had not eaten in the morning, he would have been hungry. We have hadn't plus the past participle of it, which is eating, and in the consequence clause we have would plus have. So when you have a sentence that talks about something that did not happen in the present or in the past, you use would in the consequence clause. If I were rich, I would travel around the world. Not if I were rich, I will travel around the world. If I were rich, I would travel around the world. Okay. So in the consequence clause, we're going to use would and not will. I hope that is clear. Now, another use of would is to talk about the future in the past. the future in the past. Okay, now if we want to talk about something that we are thinking about in the past about the future, okay, you use would. Okay, when I was a kid, I thought I would become a doctor. In this sentence, I'm talking about something that I was thinking about in the past about the future. Something I was thinking about in the past about the future. Okay, so use would in expressing our past thoughts about the future. Okay, last night I thought my mother would cook jollof rice in the morning. I thought my mother would cook jollof rice in the morning. Okay. This sentence talks about something that I was thinking in the past about the future. So when you want to express something you thought in the past about the future, you use would. Okay. So you don't say last night I thought my mother will cook jollof rice in the morning. You rather say last night I thought my mother would cook jollof rice in the morning, not will cook. Would cook jollof rice in the morning because I'm expressing a past thought. Okay, I'm expressing a past thought about the future. I hope that is clear. Now, another place we use would is in reported speech. Okay, we are reporting something that someone said, we use would and not will. Okay, now another most common way and very important way you use would is in making a polite request. Would you tidy up the room? Would you make breakfast? Use would in making a polite request. Now you also use would to talk about a past habit, something you did regularly in the past. Okay, something you did regularly in the past. For example, when I was a kid, I would go to the park every day. When I was a kid, I would go to the park every Sunday. Okay, this is something that used to happen in the past. This is a past habit. I'm no longer a kid and I don't go to the park every day. Okay, so when you want to talk about a past habit in the present, you use would. When I was in the university, I would attend lectures every day. Okay, this is a past habit, something I used to do regularly in the past. Now, as a recap, use would talk about an already situation in the present, an already situation in the past thought about the future, reported speech, making a polite request, and talking about a past habit. Okay, so those are different ways we use would. Now it's time to answer some questions as from the past questions. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we're going to answer some questions from JAMB Past Questions. Okay, now let's see some questions. In 2016, had Aisha realized what marriage entails, she dashed. We have option A. Could have not rushed in. Could have not rushed into it. B. Would have rushes into it. C. Would not have rushes into it. D. Would not have rushed into it. Okay. Now, what does this sentence talk about? It talks about an already situation in the past, something that did not happen in the past. She did not realize what marriage entails, and this happened in the past. And you know, this sentence, despite it not containing if, we can rephrase it to have if. Okay, you can say if Aisha had realized what marriage entails, she dashed. Okay, so this sentence talks about, even though it does not contain if, like the examples I gave, it still talks about something that did not happen in the past. It expresses an already situation in the past. Okay, even though it does not contain if. Now we have could have not rushed into it is incorrect. Rush here should have been in the past and not in the present. Option B, would have rushes into it is incorrect. Okay, you don't say this sentence is in the past, and when you use have in a sentence, the verb has to go with a past participle. Okay, the verb has to go with a past participle. So rushes makes this option incorrect. Okay, option C, we have would not have rushes into it. Would not have rushes into it. So is also incorrect because of rushes. When you use have in a sentence, you use past participle of the main verb. Okay, now we have would not have rushed into it. This is a correct answer. Option D is a correct answer. Would not have rushed into it. So guys, I hope you've learned how to use would in a sentence and you'll be able to answer questions related to how to use would in a sentence in your exams. I see a lot of questions on it in the past questions, in JAMB and once past questions. Please, I encourage you to take this seriously, and if you do not understand it, please let me know in the comment section if you need more explanations on how to use would in a sentence. Thank you very much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Make sure you're following me on Facebook, Dima Tutorials. Search for Demand Tutorials on Facebook and make sure you follow me, because on Facebook I give my followers lessons every day. Please make sure you follow me on Facebook, subscribe to this channel so you can always get notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you very much for watching and see you very soon in another video. Thank you. Ciao. Bye.